All right, today we're diving into a single piece of art called Crimson Endurance. And yeah, at first glance, you see a horse, but it's telling a really profound story about what happens before the big breakthrough. You know, that difficult, grinding journey that almost nobody ever sees.
Just take a second and really let this image sink in. We've got this horse, and it's almost being swallowed up by this intense, fiery red. The lines are so heavy, the energy is just thick. So you have to ask yourself, what's the story here? What journey is this horse actually on?
This quote really gets right to the heart of it all. True progress often happens when the steps are heaviest. See, it's not about being fast or making it look easy. It's about the struggle itself. And that difficult, heavy movement, well, that's exactly what this artwork is all about. Okay, so first things first. To really get this piece, we've got to talk about its most dominant feature. I mean, you can't miss it. That all-encompassing, totally unavoidable field of red.
And notice, this red isn't just some flat, boring background. The analysis actually calls it a field, like an unavoidable temperature of life itself. It's the very atmosphere the horse has to push through, and you can see it's textured, layered. It almost feels alive.
So what does this red field actually mean? Well, it's carrying this huge symbolic weight. It's the fire of a trial or an ordeal. It's the flesh and blood cost of just being alive. It's raw emotion, anxiety, desire, immense pressure. And yeah, it's even the feeling of crisis, a sign of our times. This is the world this horse is being forced to walk through. So, the color totally sets the stage, but the real story, that's told in the brushwork itself. Let's take a closer look at how the artist uses the language of the brush to give us this incredible feeling of endurance.
Just look at the horse's posture. Its legs are bent, its whole body is sinking down. The lines are so thick, so labored. This is not some heroic, graceful leap. No way! This is a heavy, burdened walk, and you can tell it's feeling every single ounce of that resistance.
And on the horse's body, you see these repetitive, layered brushstrokes. They're not smooth, they're not polished at all. They feel like marks, like scars, left behind by time and experience. A whole history that you just can't smooth over or paint away.
So, what might look kind of rough or untidy is completely on purpose. That repetition, that messy layering, that lack of polish, that is the message. It's the visual language for a long, hard-fought, and exhausting journey.
Okay, so we've got the color, we've got the brushwork. Now let's tie it all together and talk about the core symbolism here, which is all about what happens before any kind of glorious transformation.
So there's this really common idiom in Chinese culture, yi ma dang xian, and it's often used to describe horses. Traditionally, it means being a trailblazer, charging ahead, leading the way with speed and power.
But this artwork, it flips that whole idea on its head. In this piece, taking the lead isn't about being the fastest or the strongest. It's about being the one willing to carry the heaviest burden, to stand there and endure the heat and the pressure, and to just keep moving forward when everything is hard. It basically redefines leadership as an act of pure resilience. And this comparison here, man, it just lays it all out, crystal clear. We all love the myth of the phoenix, that glorious rebirth from the ashes. That's the result we celebrate. But this horse is the reality. It's the unglamorous, difficult, painful process that has to happen before any rebirth is even possible. And that right there, that brings us to the absolute heart of this painting. All these pieces, the color, the brushwork, the symbolism, they all build up to one powerful central message. So you gotta wonder, if this journey isn't about some big, glorious charge to a finish line, then what's the point? Why does the horse keep walking through that field of fire? Why all this struggle? And the answer is just powerful. It's an image about the courage to not exit the stage. It's about the sheer will to keep going, to just not quit, when the world is pressing in on you from every single side. So let's get one thing straight. This struggle, it's not for some final victory. It's not for glory, and it's not even really about reaching some specific finish line. Those are the goals of a totally different kind of story. No, the purpose of this journey is something much deeper, much more internal. It's about holding on to the fundamental ability to move forward, even if it's just by an inch. It's about looking the full weight of the world in the face without getting crushed by it. And ultimately, it's about the simple, powerful act of refusing to stop. Which leaves us with one last, really powerful thought. One that might just change how you think about every story of triumph you've ever heard.
You know, the phoenix rising from the ashes. That's the story everyone loves. It's dramatic, it's inspiring, it's the myth that gets told over and over again.
But this horse, slowly walking through the fire, is the truth behind that myth. It represents the endless, difficult, and so often invisible journey that is the necessary prequel to any kind of rebirth or success. Simply put, without the horse, there is no phoenix. And that's really the final thought to leave you with. This whole artwork is a monument to that part of the story, that unglamorous, unrecorded piece of the journey. It's a tribute to the quiet endurance you need on that part of the road, the part that no one ever records for you, long before your story ever becomes a myth.